we are going to specifically focus on particular each and every muscle, how, from where this muscle is originated, from where the muscle is going to insert, and which is the what is the nerve, which nerve is supplying that muscle, what is the function of that particular muscle. So the first muscle I am going to discuss is quadriceps muscle. It is now known as quadriceps femoris. What is quadriceps femoris? Quadriceps femoris is a group of 4 muscle. Quadriceps, quadri mean ceps, 4 septa, 4 origins, 4 group type of fiber. All 4 muscle make one group of muscle known as quadriceps muscle. Quadriceps femoris is made up of 4 muscle, and this is the main muscle of anterior thigh. This is the main muscle of anterior thigh. This muscle is known as quadriceps muscle. This muscle is made up of 4 group of muscle. First muscle of quadriceps is rectus femoris, and it originated from anterior inferior iliac spine. You can see here, this is a ilium bone, this is a pelvis bone, consists of ilium, ischium and pubis. So this is the hip joint. In body you can place it here like this. First muscle originate from inferior and anterior iliac spine, somewhere here. You can see in the diagram also, and I am trying to show it with model. Rectus femoris originate from here. Second muscle of quadriceps is vastus lateralis muscle. I have told you rectus femoris straightly comes in the midline of thigh. Second muscle of quadriceps is second muscle is vastus lateralis. It means lateral to anterior thigh, and it originates from the lateral side of greater trochanter. This is the femur. This is the femur bone, and this is when you see the femur, this is the greater trochanter. This is the greater trochanter, and the vastus lateralis originate from lateral side of greater trochanter. Even you can see in the diagram of PPT, the muscle is originated, vastus lateralis is originated from the lateral side of greater trochanter of femur bone. When you want to see, when you are trying to see in the body, if you feel just near your hip joint, there is one bony prominence, and vastus lateralis is originated somewhere from the lateral side of femur GT, and as well as on the intertrochanteric line and on the lateral lip of linea aspera. It means it has 3 origin, one from here, second from intertrochanteric line. Intertrochanteric line means there are 2 trochanters in the femur. One is GT, greater trochanter, and other is lesser trochanter. A line between greater trochanter and lesser trochanter is known as intertrochanteric line. So some fibers of vastus lateralis originate from lateral side of greater trochanter, some fiber originate from intertrochanteric line, and some fiber originate from linea aspera. This is the line of known as linea aspera. So it has different origin, first from lateral side of greater trochanter, second from intertrochanteric line of femur, and third is lateral lip of linea aspera. So this is the second muscle. Third muscle of quadriceps is vastus medialis muscle. This is the major muscle. This forms the major portion of quadriceps muscle, and it arises from the medial lip of linea aspera. As we have seen in vastus lateralis, that originate from lateral lip of linea aspera, whereas vastus medialis originate from medial lip of linea aspera. Vastus medialis originate from medial lip of linea aspera. As you can see in the diagram also, the muscles, vastus medialis muscle is originating from the medial lip of linea aspera. The fourth and last muscle of quadriceps is vastus intermedius muscle, which arises from the lateral and anterior side of diaphysis of femur. Lateral and anterior side of diaphysis of femur. You can see here, this is a femur, lateral and anterior side. This is lateral side of femur, diaphysis. Diaphysis means the shaft. This is the diaphysis of femur. When you see the diaphysis of femur, the vastus intermedius originate from lateral, and this is lateral side, anterior side, and it originates from here. So all four muscle, among all four, three muscles of quadriceps has origin from femur, whereas one muscle, that is rectus femoris muscle, it has originated from the pelvis bone. So in femur, in quadriceps, three muscles are one joint muscle, whereas one muscle, rectus femoris, is a two joint muscle which crosses hip joint as well as knee joint. So these are the origin of all four muscles of quadriceps. Now I would like to revise again. First muscle, rectus femoris, originate from anterior and inferior iliac spine, that is pelvis bone, originate from anterior and inferior, somewhere from here. Whereas other three muscles of quadriceps originate from intertrochanteric line, GT, linea aspera lateral side and linea aspera medial side, as well as diaphysis of femur. Now come to insertion of all these four muscle, because the all muscle, out of four muscle, three are originating from femur itself, whereas one is originating from pelvis bone, that is iliac spine, inferior anterior iliac spine. Now come to the insertion of quadriceps muscle. The four muscle belly converge distally over the anterior side of patella and form the powerful tendon, the patellar ligament, which is inserted onto the tibial tuberosity. All four muscles comes down, and they are going to insert over the tibial tuberosity. Suppose they all four muscles are coming from up, they are converging, making a tendon down and going to insert over patella as over tibial tuberosity. Over tibial tuberosity means this is the tibia. This is the tibia bone, and there is a one prominence here. You can feel the prominence over your tibia. This is known as tibial tuberosity. So all quadriceps, all four muscles of quadriceps, they are uniting at one point and making a tendon known as patellar tendon or quads tendon. At one end, quadriceps muscle is attaching over patella, and other end, patellar tendon is attaching over tibial tubercle. So I can show you in the diagram. I don't have the bone of tibia, but this is a tibia, and it is all four muscle make a tendon and collectively attach over the tibial tubercle. So all four muscles of quadriceps, they are originated from different places, and even they are originated from different bone. Three from femur, one from ilium, but they are run parallel throughout the anterior thigh, medial side, intermediate side, lateral side, and making a one common tendon and going to attach with the tibial tubercle. Now come to the innervation. From which nerve these four muscles are innervated? What is the meaning of innervation? It means which nerve is supplying to these muscles. From which nerve for contraction these muscles are getting signal from which nerve? So the quadriceps femoris muscle is supplied by L2 to L4 segment of femoral nerve. Femoral nerve the L2 to L4 segment of femoral nerve is going to supply the quadriceps muscle. Remember this, femoral nerve is going to supply the L2 to L4 segment of femoral nerve is going to supply the all four muscle. Now come to the description of all these quadriceps muscle. The quad muscle is a powerful muscle. Quadriceps muscle is a powerful muscle because this muscle is made up of four muscle, and out of these four, VMO, vastus medialis, is the strongest. It is the bulky muscle. So by having four muscle in one group, four muscle are making one tendon. Because four muscles are making one tendon, so it is a stronger muscle which covers the lateral side, the anterior side and medial side of diaphysis of femur. It means lateral side, medial side as well as anterior side. All the side, lateral, medial and interior, all three sides of femur are fully covered by quadriceps femoris. All four muscles of quadriceps surround this diaphysis. Diaphysis means shaft of femur. This long axis of bone of femur is known as, or of any bone is known as diaphysis. Whole diaphysis is covered by all four muscles of quadriceps. So quadriceps muscle is a powerful muscle because this is made up of four muscle, four stronger muscle, and all four muscles are going to unite and making a tendon, and commonly this tendon is going to insert over a tibia. This is a tibia, this is a tibia, and when you place tibia here, this is a tibia, and all tendons comes all along the anterior, lateral, medial side and going to insert over tibial tubercle. So when a muscle is made up of four group of muscle, four stronger group of muscle, it is a stronger muscle, and all four muscles are covering your femur from all three sides, from anteriorly, from laterally and from medially. Anteriorly there is rectus femoris, medially there is a vastus medialis, laterally there is a vastus lateralis. It is located immediate under the skin and is easily recognizable at the skin surface. It means when you are trying to palpate the muscle, it is a bulky muscle, and if you feel the muscle, there is only skin, and just after skin there is muscle. When you are trying to palpate the muscle in thigh skin, some amount of fat than muscle. In females, the fat may be more because females has more tendency of fat deposition over thigh. So in females thigh, they will have skin, then fat, then these muscle. Its forehead unify themselves distally over the anterior surface of patella and form a big tendon called patellar tendon. The osteology of knee joint: one femur, tibia, and in between there is patella. So knee joint is made up of two types of joint: tibiofemoral joint formed between tibia and femur, as well as patellofemoral joint formed between patella and femur. So what happened? The muscle fibers are coming medially, they are coming, anteriorly they are coming, and laterally they are coming. Vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, vastus intermedius and rectus femoris, all fibers are coming down, and just overlying they are attached to patella by a quadriceps tendon, and again they are going to attach, this patella is going to attach with the tibial tubercle with the help of patellar tendon. So all four muscles are going to unite near knee joint, near patella, and they are making a tendon, and the tendon is made up of the fibers of all four muscles. That's why these four tendons are respectively named as rectus femoris muscle, vastus medialis, vastus intermedius and vastus rectus femoris. Rectus femoris, vastus medialis, vastus lateralis and vastus intermedius muscle. Now come to the, I have finished the origin and insertion. In origin, they have origin, one muscle rectus femoris has origin from ilium and the other 3 muscle are originated from femur. It means out of 4 muscle, 1 muscle is 2 joint muscle, whereas other 3 muscle, that is vastus medialis, vastus rectus femoris, as well as rectus vastus intermedius, they are 1 joint muscle. Now come to function of these quadriceps muscle. Function of these quadriceps muscle. The quadriceps muscle is the most important extensor of knee. We are able to extend our knee. Extension. This is the extension of knee. See here. I am going to drag my tibia towards the our side. I am trying to make our knee in extension. This movement is because of shortening. This muscle, quadriceps muscle, is going to shorten, and when it is shortening, it is pulling tibia toward its side, toward shortened side, and it causes extension of knee. So the rectus femoris, because rectus femoris muscle is a 2 joint muscle, other 3 muscles are originating from femur and inserting over tibial tubercle. So when they will shorten, they will cause extension. But among all 4 muscle, 1 muscle, rectus femoris muscle, that is originate from pelvis, from ischium. So when this muscle will contract, it will cause flexion of knee also, because out of 4 muscle, 1 muscle is originating from here also. So when you contract that rectus femoris, it will cause flexion of knee. So quadriceps muscle has 2 function, main function, because there are 3 muscle out of 4 muscle are producing movement only at knee joint, because they are those fiber, vastus lateralis, vastus intermedius, and vastus medialis are crossing only knee joint. So they will produce movement only at knee joint, that is knee extension. But the one fiber of quadriceps muscle is crossing hip joint as well as knee joint, so that rectus femoris will produce 2 function. Function number 1 is extension of knee, and the function number 2 is the flexion of hip. So quadriceps muscle as a whole is considered as a knee extensor as well as knee hip flexor. Now come to variation. Variation of this quadriceps muscle. The origin of rectus femoris muscle at the acetabulum can be absent. The muscle fibers of vastus medialis muscle can end at the tibial tuberosity. This is the variation, but it doesn't have a role. So I would like to summarize it. Mainly quadriceps muscle is the main knee extensor, but it can also produce flexion at knee. Why it can produce flexion at knee? Because one fiber, one muscle of the quadriceps is originated from ilium, and when it gets shortened, it will produce flexion at knee. The second important muscle of anterior compartment of thigh is sartorius muscle. Clear? We have discussed about the muscle, that is quadriceps muscle. It is anterior muscle of thigh. Second anterior muscle of thigh is sartorius muscle. From where that muscle originates? The sartorius muscle arises from anterior superior iliac spine. It originates from anterior superior iliac spine. This is the anterior and superior iliac spine. It is somewhere here. When you see in your body, it is somewhere here. This prominence is known as ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine. So it originates, sartorius muscle originate from anterior superior iliac spine. Now come to the insertion of that sartorius muscle. It come all along the anterior fiber and inserted in form of tendon surround the medial condyle of femur, and this muscle, sartorius muscle, come down and inserted over the medial condyle of femur as well as inserted over from anterior superior iliac spine. This is the bone You can see here muscle is coming down, down, cross the femur, cross the knee joint and inserted over the medial proximally onto the medial surface of tibia. It means sartorius muscle is going to insert over the proximal medial surface of tibia. The muscle will come all along there and inserted medial surface of tibia here. The bone muscle, sartorius muscle is inserted over the medial surface of tibia. There it formed together with the gracilis muscle and semitendinosus muscle. A tissue structure now known as pes arsenius. Okay. So I am talking only and only about sartorius muscle. It originates from anterior superior iliac spine and inserted over the medial proximal aspect of tibia. So we can see here the sartorius muscle is a two joint muscle, originate from pelvis bone and inserted over the tibia. It means it is crossing hip joint as well as knee joint. So this muscle will also have function at both joint. Now come to the innervation. Innervation of sartorius. The sartorius muscle is supplied by a branch of femoral nerve from L2 to L3 segment. As we have seen in quadriceps, that muscle is supplied by same femoral nerve of L2 to L4 segment, but sartorius muscle is supplied by L2 to L3 segment of femoral nerve. Now come to the description of sartorius muscle. The sartorius muscle form a fat muscular band which runs from lateral to medial and separate all along the quadriceps femoris muscle. It is the longest parallel fibrous muscle of the body. Sartorius muscle is the specificity of sartorius muscle is the longest fibrous muscle of the body. It originates from here and it comes like this. Originate from anterior superior iliac spine. That is the lateral structure of body, and it is coming down and inserted towards medial side. So what is the function? And it runs along the quadriceps tendon, because quadriceps muscle is also anterior and sartorius muscle is also anterior to the body. So what is the function of sartorius muscle? The sartorius muscle work on two joint. I have told you the muscle is crossing two joint, hip as well as knee. So it will have function over both joint. The sartorius muscle work on two joint. It generate a flexion at hip and participate at the external rotation, because what happened, this muscle is crossing like this, but when you shorten the muscle it will cause external rotation of hip. Muscle is originating from here and inserted here. When the muscle contract, it will cause external rotation of hip as well as abduction of thigh. So sartorius muscle has three functions. First function is hip flexion, second function is external rotation of hip, and third function is abduction, because this is the origin and insertion. So when it contract, it will drag leg outside. It will drag leg outside, so leg will go in abduction. So sartorius muscle has three functions: flexion over hip, external rotation of hip, as well as abduction of hip. So there are three functions of sartorius over hip joint. It also produce flexion of knee joint and participate in the internal rotation of leg. So at knee joint, sartorius has two functions. Function number one is it acts as a flexor of knee joint, because it is coming like this. So it will, when it contract, it will drag tibia towards inside. And second thing, it can cause internal rotation of leg. I have discussed the anterior muscle of thigh. Now I am going to discuss the posterior muscle of thigh. The muscle which are present over the posterior compartment of thigh. These muscles are also known as flexor compartment of thigh, and it is formed of two muscle level. There are two level of muscle. Posteriorly over thigh, there are two level of muscle. One is superficial level muscle and second is deeper level muscle. These muscles are attached to the ischium bone and leg and are often described according to the ischio-crural muscle. They are known as ischio-crural muscle. It means they are originating from ischium and having function over hip joint as well as knee joint. So first I would like to explain the superficial level of posterior thigh muscle. Superficial muscle of posterior thigh muscle, and first muscle is biceps femoris. First muscle which is situated posteriorly over thigh is known as biceps femoris. What is biceps femoris? From where it is originated? The biceps femoris originated from the long head. It has two heads. Biceps femoris has two heads. One head, long head, originate from the ischial tuberosity and from the neighboring sarcotuberous ligament. The short head arises from the distal 1/3 of lateral lip of linea aspera. It means biceps femoris has two origin by two heads. Biceps femoris has two heads, one long head and one short head. The long head originate from ischial tuberosity. The long head originate from ischial tuberosity of pelvis bone, whereas short head of biceps femoris originate from the posterior lip or lateral lip, the distal 1/3 of lateral lip of linea aspera. It means our biceps femoris has two origin in two heads. One is long head originate from ischial tuberosity, short head originate from lateral lip of distal 1/3 of linea aspera of femur bone. Now come to insertion of biceps femoris. Insertion, both heads from one tendon of insertion distally which run behind the lateral condyle of femur and is inserted onto tip of head of fibula. Both head united. One head is long head is coming from ischial tuberosity, short head is coming, one head is coming down, short is coming from lateral lip of the linea aspera posteriorly. Both heads are uniting, attaching and making one tendon, and by making one tendon they are attaching over the lateral condyle of, they are attaching over the tip of fibula, tip of fibula. Fibula is one other bone, lateral bone of lower leg, and biceps femoris tendon is inserted. Both head of biceps, long head and short head of biceps femoris muscle is making a tendon and inserted over the tip of head of fibula, and an individual muscle fiber curves forward and inserted proximally onto the lateral surface of tibia. Some fibers of the tendon are inverted, some fibers are inserted proximally over the tibia. It means mainly the biceps femoris has insertion over tip of fibula, but some individual fibers of muscle are inserted over the proximal lateral surface of tibia. Now come to innervation. The long head is supplied by branches from tibial part of sciatic nerve, that is S1 to S2, and the short head is supplied by the branches from peroneal part of sciatic nerve, that is L5 to S1. It means the both head of biceps femoris, long head and short head. Long head is supplied by branch of tibial nerve of sciatic nerve, tibial part of sciatic nerve, whereas short head is supplied by peroneal part of sciatic nerve. The nerve root value of tibial part of sciatic nerve is S1 to S2, whereas the nerve root value of peroneal part of sciatic nerve is L5 to S1. Now come to the description of biceps femoris. The long biceps femoris muscle is located in the posterior lateral region of thigh. This muscle is located near the posterolateral. This is posterior, and when you are talking about posterior, this is posterior, but this is lateral. Anterolateral from front, lateral from front, posterolateral, lateral from back. So biceps femoris is located from posterolateral region of thigh. It is found immediately under the skin and is easily recognizable below the skin. Like quadriceps muscle, when you palpate, you will try to palpate biceps femoris muscle. It is just under the skin, or if your thigh is fatty skin, then fat, then the biceps femoris muscle. It has two head, a long superficial head and long head, and a deep short head, the short head. Clear? Now come to the function of biceps femoris. It flexes the leg in knee joint under a slight simultaneous external rotation of tibia. The main function of this biceps femoris is flexion of knee with slight internal rotation. Tibia is going to internally rotate. Tibia is internally rotating. The main function of biceps is flexion of knee in internal rotation. Flexion of knee in neutral position, flexion of knee in internal. There are some amount of rotation available at knee joint, internal rotation and external rotation. When you are trying to flex your knee in slight internal rotation position, this is the function of biceps femoris. It also acts an active extensor of hip. As we have seen, the biceps femoris is a muscle which crosses two joints, hip joint as well as knee joint. So at knee joint it causes flexion of knee, but at hip joint it causes extension of hip joint. So because of being a two joint muscle, biceps femoris is producing flexion of knee in internal rotation position of leg as well as extension of hip joint. It extends the thigh with the pelvis as the fixed point. When your pelvis is fixed, and it extends the pelvis in relation to the thigh with the tibia as the fixed point. It extends the thigh with pelvis as the fixed point. Is extend the thigh. Suppose when you want to extend the thigh, your pelvis is fixed, you are trying to extend thigh. In this position, pelvis is fixed, tibia is moving, so this is the function of biceps femoris. And when your tibia is fixed, it can cause extension of pelvis. This extension of pelvis, suppose pelvis is extended because of sartorius. So sartorius has two functions over hip joint. Function number one, when your pelvis is fixed, it will cause extension of hip joint, pelvis joint. And second is, when your tibia is fixed, it will cause extension of pelvis. We have discussed about first superficial muscle of posterior thigh. The second superficial muscle of posterior thigh is semitendinosus muscle. Semitendinosus muscle, it originated from the ischial tuberosity from where the biceps femoris tendon. So it share origin with biceps femoris tendon. So biceps femoris as well as semitendinosus both has common origin point, that is ischial tuberosity of pelvis bone. And what is the insertion of semitendinosus muscle? The tendon of insertion of semitendinosus muscle runs behind the medial condyle of femur and is inserted proximally onto the medial surface of tibia. It is going to insert over the proximal surface of tibia. They are coming down from ischial tuberosity, the semitendinosus from ischial tuberosity of pelvis. The semitendinosus tendon is originated coming down, crossing all over the femur muscle, femur bone posteriorly and inserted over the proximal medial surface of proximally. It is going to inserted over proximal medial surface of tibia here. So this is the insertion. Origin is from ischial tuberosity and insertion over the proximal medial surface of tibia. and it inserted together with the sartorius muscle, where sartorius muscle is inserted, and with sartorius, semitendinosus and gracilis, it forms a connective tissue known as pes anserinus. In now come to innervation of semitendinous muscle. The semitendinous muscle is innervated by tibial branch of sciatic nerve. Tibial branch of sciatic nerve. So the nerve root value of this nerve is L5 to S2. Now come to description of semitendinous muscle. The semitendinous muscle is a long muscle which corresponds to its name, in that inform a tendon very quickly distally. It occupies the posterior medial side of thigh. This muscle is situated over the, we have seen rectus femoris, that muscle is situated near the posterior lateral. But when we talk about semitendinosus, it's along the posterior medial side of thigh. Now what is the, come to the function of semitendinosus. Semitendinous muscle function over two articulation, because it two joint muscle. It function over hip also, as well as it also function over knee joint. It flexes the knee joint and rotate the tibia towards, because it is inserted over medial side, so it will cause medial rotation of tibia as well as flexion of tibia over femur, because it can cause flexion and internal rotation of tibia over knee joint. Is also serve as an extensor of hip joint and help in stabilizing the knee, help hip joint with stretched leg as support the pelvis in the saddle plane, because this muscle is posteriorly placed. So whenever it will contact, it will cause extension of hip as well as flexion of knee. Because of contraction of semitendinous muscle, it will cause flexion of knee but extension of hip. We have discussed about the superficial level muscle of the posterior thigh. Now I am going to discuss the deeper level muscle of posterior thigh. This is mainly semimembranosus. Semimembranosus. And the semimembranosus muscle originate from the, it also originate from the ischial tuberosity, like other muscle of like semitendinosus muscle. It also originates from ischial tuberosity in form of thin tendon. And where it is going to insert? It is inserted over the medial proximal head of tibia in two form. The tendon of insertion of semimembranosus muscle run behind the medial condyle of femur and ends in three fibrous band. The first bundles are runs horizontally and is inserted onto the border of medial condyle of tibia, where it is covered by tibial collateral ligament. The second bundle runs along the axis of muscle fiber further distally and inserted onto the posterior medial condyle of tibia, and the third bundle bends proximally backward and continue as long oblique parallel ligament. It strengthens the articular capsule of knee joint in the region of lateral condyle of femur. It means our semimembranosus muscle has one origin but three insertion. For insertion number 1 is near the medial condyle of tibia. Insertion number 2 is just distally inserted on the posterior side. I am talking about posterior side. Semimembranosus tendon is originating from ischial tuberosity and coming down and inserted over the medial side of tibia, proximal medial side. One over here, one bundle of tendon over here, second maybe some distally in the distal area, and third is over the, they are making oblique fibers and going to attach proximally backward near the capsule of joint, and that fibers, that band, third band is strengthen the joint capsule of knee joint. Now come to the innervation of semimembranosus muscle. It is supplied by tibial branch of sciatic nerve, and the nerve root value of this nerve is L5 to S1. Now come to description of this muscle. The semimembranous muscle is covered by semitendinosus muscle. Its name is taken from the flap shape of tendon of origin. The muscle has flap-like shape, that's why it is known as semimembranosus muscle. And the function of this muscle is, because it is also a two joint muscle, the semimembranosus muscle function over two articulation exactly like the semitendinosus muscle. It flexes the knee. The main role of this muscle is flexion of knee, and the other role is extension of hip joint as well as stabilizing the hip joint. So we have seen all three muscle, biceps femoris, rectus femoris, biceps femoris, semitendinosus and semimembranosus. They all have common origin, but they have different fibers. That's why all three are different muscle, but collectively these three muscle, two superficial muscle of the posterior thigh and one deeper muscle of posterior thigh, they are collectively known as hamstring muscle, and they are known as hamstring muscle. And hamstring muscle is made up of three muscle: semitendinosus, biceps femoris as well as semimembranosus. Out of three, two are superficial muscle. Semitendinosus and biceps femoris are superficial muscle of posterior thigh, whereas semimembranosus is the deeper muscle of posterior thigh, and collectively all three muscles are known as hamstring muscle. And the main function of hamstring muscle, because these is all three muscle fiber of hamstring muscle is crossing two joints, hip joint as well as knee joint. So because of being posteriorly placed in the thigh, because of contraction of these three fibers, they will produce flexion of knee, because they are, when they will contract, they will distract tibia towards its side, so they can cause flexion of knee, as well as because they are crossing hip joint from posterior side, so they will cause extension of hip joint. So this is the main origin, insertion, innervation and function of anterior and posterior thigh muscle. We have discussed about the anterior compartmental muscle of thigh as well as posterior compartmental muscle of thigh. They are basically, mainly they are hamstring sartorius anteriorly as well as hamstring posteriorly, and they are mainly responsible for flexion. Hamstring is responsible for flexion at hip joint as well as extension at hip joint, whereas quadriceps is responsible for extension at hip joint and flexion at hip joint. Now I am going to discuss some other muscle of medial thigh. Medial thigh, there are three level of muscle medially. The first superficial level of medial thigh muscle, second middle level of medial thigh muscle, and third is deep level of medial thigh muscle. So we will discuss one by one in third. We are going to discuss medial thigh muscle. We have already discussed anterior thigh muscle, posterior thigh muscle. Now I am going to discuss for medial thigh muscle. Medial thigh muscles are arranged over thigh in three layers: superficial layer, middle layer and deeper level. So first I am going to discuss with superficial level of muscle. Superficially there are three muscle. First is pectineus muscle over thigh, second is adductor longus muscle medial over thigh, and third is gracilis muscle. So first is pectineus muscle. This is the first superficial level of medial thigh muscle. Pectineus originate from the pectineal line of pubis bone, from the pubic tubercle and from the iliopubic ramus. It is originated from three places. First is pectineal line of pubis bone, second is pubis tubercle, and third is from iliopubic ramus. Now come to insertion of pectineal muscle. The pectineal muscle runs behind the lesser trochanter and pectoral line of femur, in which it is inserted just near the lesser trochanter over the pectineal line of femur, in which it is inserted. Now I am going to discuss the posterior compartment of lower leg muscle. Basically, in the posterior compartment of lower leg, there are two layers of muscle, superficial layer of muscle as well as deeper layer of posterior leg compartment muscle. First, I will discuss about the muscle which are superficially placed in the posterior compartment of leg. There are two muscles which are superficially placed over the posterior compartment of leg. They are basically triceps suri muscle and plantaris muscle. First, I would like to discuss about triceps suri muscle. Triceps, tri mean three heads. So this muscle is made up of deepest head from both two head, one medial head and lateral head of gastrocnemius as well as soleus muscle. This triceps suri is made up of three muscle, two heads long and medial and lateral head of gastrocnemius and soleus muscle. The soleus muscle arises from soleal line of posterior surface of tibia. It means triceps suri muscle is made up of three muscle, medial and lateral head of gastrocnemius as well as soleus muscle. The soleus muscle is originated from the soleal line of posterior surface of tibia as well as some proximal proximal side of head of fibula and also include the proximal third of posterior surface of body of fibula. So soleus muscle is originated from soleal line of posterior surface of tibia and posterior side of head of fibula, and it include also the proximal third of posterior surface of body of fibula. It means your soleus muscle has two origin from tibia over soleal line as well as fibula over the posterior one third of portion of the fibula. It means it has origin from tibia as well as fibula both. Now come to the medial and lateral head of gastrocnemius. It arises from femur. The gastrocnemius medial and lateral head arises from femur immediately over the corresponding condyle. It means gastrocnemius is a two joint muscle whereas soleus is a one joint muscle, because gastrocnemius both lateral and medial head of gastrocnemius is originating from medial condyle of femur, whereas lateral head of gastrocnemius is originated from lateral condyle of femur, and it is your soleus is going to originate from proximal posterior end of tibia as well as proximal one third of head of proximal one third of fibula also. Now come to insertion. That both head of gastrocnemius as well as soleus make a common and a stronger tendon, and they are going to attach over the calcaneum. This is also known as Achilles tendon. This is the strongest tendon of body. Your complete triceps suri. It consists of soleus muscle. It consists of both lateral and medial head of gastrocnemius. They may all form a combined strongest tendon, and they attach with the calcaneum bone of foot. So all three muscle of triceps suri make a common tendon and attach over the calcaneum. Now come to the innervation. It is supplied by S1 and S2 segment of tibial nerve. Triceps suri muscle is supplied by S1 and S2 segment of tibial nerve. Now come to description of this triceps muscle. The triceps suri muscle is the most superficial muscle in the posterior compartment of leg. The shape of the calf is result of gastrocnemius. When we see, this is our calf muscle. This is our calf muscle, and this calf muscle is made up of three muscle. Basically, this is known as triceps suri, in which one muscle is known as gastrosoleus, and the two muscle are lateral and medial head of gastrocnemius. All three muscle make one muscle known as triceps suri, and the whole girth of calf is because of presence of lateral and medial head of gastrocnemius in the calf area, and all muscle is coming down and inserted over the tip of calcaneum in the foot bone. So this is the position of gastrocnemius and gastrosoleus muscle in the foot. Now come to the function of triceps suri muscle. Triceps suri muscle is a stronger plantar flexor. What is plantar flexion? Plantar flexion mean bringing your foot down towards the ground side. When your foot is coming down side, it is known as plantar flexion movement. And plantar flexion movement of feet is only and only because of contraction of triceps suri muscle. If it enables the elevation of foot from the tip of toes. If you want to stand on toes, this type of function is possible only and only because of presence of plantar flexor, because of torque production of plantar flexor. If anyone has weaker plantar flexion, he will not be able to stand on toes. And during walking, if you analyze the gait cycle, when we walk, first we will go for heel strike. It means my heel is going to strike on ground. Then the second phase of gait is you are going for foot flat. And when you are going for acceleration, when you are going to lift your foot from ground, should bear complete weight over your toes. To bear complete weight over your toes, your feet should go in plantar flexion. And this plantar flexion is possible only and only because of strength of triceps suri muscle. So if you will not have a stronger triceps suri muscle, you cannot perform even in sports, even you cannot walk also. So triceps suri muscle is very important muscle in sports and all events. Even you are doing anything for football player, for runner, for jumper, for batsman, for bowler. When you will not have enough strength, you cannot stand on toes. Suppose when you are going for bowling, you should be on your, being a fast bowler, when you are going to deliver ball, you should be on your toes. And it is your plantar flexor which can make you on toes. The main function of triceps suri, that is mainly gastrocnemius, both head as well as soleus. The main function is plantar flexion, and without plantar flexion you cannot perform in sport, you cannot walk, even you cannot do any movement, because when you are not able to bear weight, if you cannot walk, you cannot. Without plantar flexion you cannot walk at all. So the main function of plantar flexor or triceps suri is plantar flexion of foot. It also causes supination of foot. It enables the elevation of foot from the tip of toes, and therefore important during normal walking. It produces also supination of foot. What is supination of foot? Supination of foot means when we walk, we are walking in pronated. This is foot pronation. When foot is coming, your medial side of foot is coming towards ground. When your foot is coming towards ground, it is foot pronation. But when you are trying to open up your foot, it is foot supination. So foot supination is required when you are doing different activities, some sports specific activity. So supination of foot is also a function of this triceps suri muscle. It also produces supination of foot through the origin of gastrocnemius muscle. It participates in the flexion of knee and reinforce the function of ischio-crural muscle. It means, I have told you, triceps suri muscle has a group of 3 muscle. One is soleus, which originates from tibia. So it will have function or movement only and only at feet or ankle joint. But the gastrocnemius muscle, which crosses 2 joints, one over knee joint or ankle joint, so it can cause flexion of knee also. So gastrocnemius muscle is responsible for plantar flexion and supination of foot. Along with these two functions, this muscle, gastrocnemius muscle, is also reinforcing the hamstring muscle of knee to produce flexion at knee joint. The second superficial muscle of posterior leg is plantaris muscle. What is plantaris muscle? What is the origin of plantaris muscle? Plantaris muscle originates from the small surface immediately proximal to the area of origin of lateral head of gastrocnemius. It means plantaris also originates just near the lateral condyle of femur along with lateral head of gastrocnemius. It means both has almost common origin. Lateral head of gastrocnemius as well as plantaris both has common origin, and both is crossing knee joint as well as ankle joint. When we come to the insertion of plantaris muscle, the tendon of insertion fuses with the Achilles tendon and is inserted on the calcaneal tuberosity posterior to the heel. So, as it has plantar muscle has common origin with lateral head of gastrocnemius muscle, it also has a common insertion with triceps surae muscle. So, plantaris muscle has common origin with lateral head of gastrocnemius, as well as it has common origin with the Achilles tendon, or you can say that triceps tendon of triceps surae muscle. Now come to the innervation of plantaris muscle. It is supplied by S1 and S2 segment of tibial nerve. Now come to description of plantaris muscle. The plantaris muscle is a thin muscle which is located between the gastrocnemius, because plantaris muscle is originating from the lateral head of gastrocnemius. So, it runs all along the gastrocnemius. So, it will be placed between the medial head of gastrocnemius and lateral head of gastrocnemius. So, it runs all along the in between the lateral and medial head of gastrocnemius muscle as well as soleus muscle. What is the function of gastrocnemius muscle? It supports all the function of triceps surae muscle. It means because of having common origin and insertion with triceps surae muscle, or it is having same function, it is going to help triceps surae muscle to perform their function, that was mainly plantar flexion and supination of foot as well as flexion of knee joint. There is one very important point to remember about the plantaris muscle. This is the muscle which is approximately absent in every 12th person of the world. It means plantaris muscle is not present in all person, in every 12 person. When you count or when you calculate, when you survey of all person, every 12 person will not have plantaris muscle in his posterior aspect of lower leg. Thank you.